Hello guys. So in this session we are going to learn how to monitor GitLab pipelines using Prometheus and Grafana. So let's start. So first of all, the Prometheus and Grafana are the open source tools that work together to monitor and visualize data, right? And Prometheus collects metrics while Grafana display as a visualization. As you know, Grafana is a that visualization tool, right? Okay, so Grafana transform metrics into visualizations and it provides out of the box supports for the Prometheus. Okay, and Prometheus collects metrics and provides a querying language, and it is an open source monitoring system that uses the collects the and store metrics, right? As you know, right? So that's the use of Grafana and Prometheus. So let's start to monitor GitLab pipelines using Prometheus and Grafana. So for that, here I mentioned some prerequisites. So first of all, we need AWS account with Ubuntu 24.0 for LTS. Then we need Python, we need PIP, and we need Docker installed. And we need a basic knowledge of GitLab. Also, we need a GitLab account. Okay. So let's start. So first of all, let's update the system package using the following command. And here I have successfully launched my instance. As you can see, welcome to Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. Okay. Now let me clear screen first. And let's update the system package. As you know, the command sudo apt update. So it's updating the system packages. So it's almost done. Yeah, it's done. Okay. And then after that, the next step is let's install Docker and PIP if it's not already installed. Why? Because in this prerequisite I mentioned we need this. If you install, it's okay. If you not install, then you can install from here. So here we are going to install Docker as well as PIP in one command. Yep, it's done, right? So after that, okay, it's done. After that, after installing Docker, we need to give permission to our Docker. Why? If we not give this permission, then when we use Docker, then it will give us error like that permission denied and so on. So that's why we need to run these two commands for give permission to our Docker. First one and the second one. Okay, it's done. Right. Then after that, if you want to check the details of your Docker and PIP version, then you can run this both command to check the details of or if it is installed or not. As you can see, the Docker version 26.1.3 and build on Ubuntu 24.04 and the PIP also. Okay, so it's done. We have successfully installed this. Okay, now the next is let's install Docker Compose to manage multiple containers. Okay, so for that, here the command to install Docker component. So it's done. Then after that, let's change its permission using this chmod command. Okay, then check the version to confirm the installations of Docker Compose. So as you can see, it's successfully installed and the version of this. Okay. Okay. Now, the next is let's install the virtual environment. We need to install the virtual environment. So the command is sudo apt install python 3.12 and venv. Okay. So let's install the environment. So yes, I want to install. Okay. Then let's create a new virtual environment. Name this. Okay. Okay, and let's active the virtual environment. So now we have successfully installed the virtual environment, right? So to active this virtual environment, we are going to use this command source when being active. Okay, now as you can see, it's active. You can see here in bracket, right? That means we have active our virtual environment. Okay. Now let's go to the next step. Now the next step is let's create project structure and files. Okay. So let's create a folder for your project and navigate into it. Okay. So our project or folder name is GitLab monitoring. So as you know the command to create folder mkdir. So let's inside this GitLab monitoring. Okay, but on the LS, as you can see, there is no any data as of now. Okay. Now after that, let's create one more folder with the name Prometheus and let's inside this Prometheus. Now if I run the ls command, there is Prometheus folder that we have created just. Now inside the Prometheus, there is no any data. Let's create a data for Prometheus folder. So first of all, let's create a Prometheus.yaml file. That means Prometheus configuration file, right? This is the Prometheus configuration file. If you basic knowledge about Prometheus and Grafana, then you know that Prometheus YAML file, that is a Prometheus configuration file. That means when we access the Prometheus in browser and when we go to the target and so on, there is a details or job that is in Prometheus configuration file. That means Prometheus.yaml file. Okay. So now let's add the following data into it and let's understand the code. So as you can see, global script interval evaluation. Okay, and there is a two jobs, two targets here. First is this job monitoring, and the second one is monitoring manual. Okay, so let's enter the instance IP here. So firstly, for monitoring job, there is a port number 8080, right? This is our instance IP. So here, and the next job is monitoring manual. For monitoring manual, there is a port number is 8500. So right, so we have successfully add our instance IP, right? And there is a two job in Prometheus configuration file, right? So let's save the file and exit. Okay. Then after that, let's go to the root directory. That means GitLab monitoring. Okay. So in this, let's create a file with the name Docker file. And in this file, we need to add this data. Okay. So first of all, from Python work directory copied and so on. The here we are going to run this pip install requirement text. Okay. Let's save the file and exit. Then the next is let's create the docker compose.yaml file. Okay. So in this file, there is a data, as you can see. As the data. First of all, here version, then Grafana, then image, that's the latest tag, and the Grafana port number is 3000, right? Then after that, there is a Prometheus, you can see. So Prometheus port number is 9090, right? When we access Prometheus in browser, the port number is 9090, okay. Then here, as you can see, GitLab CI pipeline exporter, the port number is 8080. Okay, so that's the details. Okay. So value and so on the details you can see. Okay, now let's save the file. Okay, then the next one is here. GitLab CI pipeline exporter.yaml file. Okay, so let's create this. So in this file, first of all, as you can see here, log GitLab URL. So that's the GitLab URL, right? And here token, GitLab token. Okay, so here we need to add our GitLab token. So where is the GitLab token? So first of all, we need to create the GitLab token. So go to your GitLab account. This is my GitLab account with the name DevOps, right? So go to the profile, then go to the edit profile. Then as you can see here, access token, click on create, add new token, enter your token name. So my token name will be a sample, and expiration date, as you can see, that means almost 1 month, right? Okay. Then after that, select scopes. Then you can select the scope that you want to, the permission level granted to the token, right? So okay. Now click on create personal access token. So now, as you can see, your personal access token has been created successfully. Okay, that's your personal access token. Okay, so let's copy the access token and go to the here. And in this token, you need to add this token. Okay. After that, project, then name, environments, and so on the details. Okay, let's save the file. Okay, it's done. Now the next one is create this GC exporter.py. So this is a customized exporter to retrieve total branch count in the project. Okay, so that's why we are going to create this. So in this file, first of all, there is a package import, random import, time import, re import, GitLab, because that's the Python file, right? Here you can see gc exporter.py file. So that's why we need to add some packages here. Okay, like random, time, GitLab, request, JSON, random, Prometheus, and so on. Okay, so here as you can see also, here we need to add also our token. You can see auth token, that means authentication token, that means our GitLab token. So we need to add here also. So let's copy and add. Okay. And after that, here we need to add project ID also. You can see your project ID. We need to add our project ID also. Okay. So let's go to here. And let's go to your GitLab account, create one project, or here, this is my project, and let's copy your project ID. So how to copy? So click on this three dot, you can see copy project ID. I'm going to copy this, my project ID, and paste here. Okay. So, okay. So keep as it is. Now let's save the file and exit. Okay. Now let's create a requirement.txt file. Okay. So let's create. So in this file requirement.txt, we are going to add this, that Python GitLab and the Prometheus client. Okay, then it's done. Okay, now let's install Python dependencies. So the requirement.txt file contains the dependencies for the custom exporter. So let's run the following command. So let's run this pip install requirement.txt file. So it's done. Then after that, let's build a Docker container. Okay, using the following command. So as you can see, it's building our Docker container. Okay, as you can see, customize exporter build. Build one of one. Okay, it's done. Now let's start the services. Okay, Docker compose up hyphen D. So it's starting the compose. So first of all, as you can see, Prometheus, then Grafana, right? So you can see it's downloading and pulling. So as you can see, it's creating started, and started. Okay, it's done, right? Okay, let me clear the screen first. Okay, then check the running containers. If you want to check, then you can check the running containers. So I'm going So as you can see, the age is 22 seconds ago and the status up, right? And the 20 seconds ago. And you can see the port number, first of all, Grafana 3000, next is Prometheus 9090, and next one is this, that monitoring GitLab, right? And next one is here, monitoring customize exporter, right? 8500. So as you can see, the status is up and the status is 20 seconds ago and created is 22 seconds ago. Okay, so it's done. Right. Now the next is let's access the services. So first of all, let's access the Prometheus in our browser. Okay, so as you know, so first of all, we need to copy our instance IP, hit on browser, and and the Prometheus port number is 9090. So as you can see, this is our Prometheus. Now click on status and go to the target. So as you can see in this target, there is two jobs, as I said. Why? Because we have added these jobs in this our Prometheus configuration file, right? So that's why there is a two jobs. First is monitoring and second is monitoring manual. And the state is up. That means it's running, right? Okay. Now the next is let's check the matrix, like, right? So let's copy the instance, or if you want you can click on this. First of all, let's check the matrix for the or to this monitoring. You can see the matrix of this. Okay, and next one is if you want to check the monitoring manual, then you can check this matrix that the port is 8500 matrix. So you can see the matrix of this. Okay. Okay. Then next is configure Grafana and visualize the matrix. Okay, so let's access the Grafana in browser. So copy your instance IP, hit on browser, and the Grafana port number is 3000. So as you can see, this is the Grafana dashboard. Okay, so first of all, let's log in. So the Grafana user, username and password is default admin. After that, you need to set your password for the security. Okay, and if you don't want, then you can skip this. Okay, so this is our Grafana dashboard. You can see welcome to Grafana. That means we have successfully accessed our Grafana in browser. Okay, now let's click on these connections and let's add the data source here. So first of all, let's search Prometheus. You can see the Prometheus and go to here, and here click on add new data source, and here the name is Prometheus, and here you need to enter your Prometheus URL. So here is our Prometheus. Okay, and the URL is here. This is the target dashboard. So sorry, here if I go to here and I copy your Prometheus URL and paste here. Okay, and now keep as it is and click. Let's scroll down, click on save and test. Okay, successfully created for Prometheus API. Now let's click on this plus icon and here click on new dashboard and click on add visualization. And here we have added the data source Prometheus. So that's why there is a Prometheus default. Click on it. And as of now, there is no data, right? So let's add here. Click on select matrix. So here I'm going to select a matrix. That GitLab branch count and the label is job and the job name is monitoring manual. Now click on run queries. And as you can see the data, so I'm going to select 5 minutes ago. You can see the data. And if I want to click on bar charts, you can see the bar chart. If you want to stat, then you can see the stat. If you want to gauge, then you can see the gauge. So if you want, then you can select from here, right? So that's the details of it. Okay. So that's it, right? So that's output is showing that one branch is connected to our project. So you can run different queries and the gauge visualization like this. Okay. You can see the one, right? So it's done, right? So in this session, we have learned how to monitor GitLab pipelines using Prometheus and Grafana. So thank you for watching and I hope you understand.